Hey guys, it's Ken from OK Portugal. Today I've been hired by CL Real Estate to do a full walking tour of this magnificent farm property in central Portugal. It features 2 granite stone buildings ready for reconstruction and placed on urban land. It also has extensive views going across the valley and plenty of water sources. We're only a few minutes away from a traditional old Portuguese village called Vila Boa do Mondego. As the name suggests, this village is next to the Mondego River, and there are a couple of river beaches to enjoy in the hot summer months within only a few minutes drive from this very farm. Vila Boa do Mondego is in the municipality of Celorico de Beira in the Guarda district of central Portugal. Now Celorico de Beira can be reached in around 10 minutes by car and has a bunch of shops, supermarkets and services for your local shopping needs. You can also reach the much larger city of Guarda in around 30 minutes, where you'll find a lot more shops, services and amenities, and also it has various bus and rail links to take you all around the country and even into Europe itself. This property is just over 3 hours drive away from Portugal's capital city Lisbon and its international airport, and around 2 hours from the city of Porto in the north and its international airport. And you're around 5 hours away from the Algarve and Faroes International Airport. Now that we've covered the location, let's dive deeper into what this property has to offer. So on the map we can see exactly where we're standing, right at the entrance of the property, and we can see where the main house is, the main granite house. We can also see where the second urban construction is. Access to the property is by this dirt track. It's only a couple of minutes away from the local village, and if we have a closer look, it's actually made up of a mixture of granite sand and quartz sand. Something like this is going to be suitable for all year round use for regular cars. CL Properties have done a little bit of a work, and as you can see they've put these 2 big flagstones in here. They've actually had a digger come around here and sort out the driveway area here that takes you down to the house. And when I say down to the house, it is actually a little bit down. This property is in a valley, and one of the great things about this is that it actually gives you a bit of a microclimate right where the house is. So the 2 urban constructions on the property basically point to the south, and that means they have really good sun exposure that goes across this valley over here. Alright, so as we pull up to the house, we can see we've got a really nice area that goes around it where you can actually drive cars right around. You can also use it as a nice porch or patio space, or again for parking cars. This was lived in only 40 years ago, so it's been empty for a while, but it's a really well built house if you look at it. Let's go up close and have a look at these big granite stones, and we can see just how straight they are. And you know, if we look in this direction here. Now CL Real Estate have gone to the trouble of getting an architect to already make plans for how this house is going to be made and renovated. Those plans have been submitted to the council already. They've already been approved. Now, you don't actually have to use those plans. There is no time limit on them either. If you were to buy this, you could implement them whenever you wanted, or you could actually come up with your own plans. But the important part is that this is on urban land, and you can actually build a new house on this space. CL Real Estate have got some artists' drawings, 3D renders of what this property is going to look like. Over here there's going to be a doorway, and there's going to be a whole barbecue area just to the left of the doorway. The actual chimney that you currently see on the property is going to be shared indoors and outdoors with a barbecue area and the indoor fireplace. And just to the right of the doorway there's a big white room that's going to be used as a room for your washing machine, tumble dryer and heat pump. There's actually a couple of 3D renders showing the outside from various angles. I think it's going to be a really good looking building once it's done. Now the architect that made those drawings has given an estimated building cost of 700 euros per square meter. So if you factor that in with the current asking price of the property, you're looking at being able to build this entire house and buy the property for around 214,000 euros. And the outlook of the property looking out over these valleys is pretty priceless. Okay, so from the front we can see the stonework, really nice, also very straight. I mean, this is a very well built old house, and I think once it's all fixed and pointed up, it's going to look absolutely incredible. We've got some beautiful stonework going around the doorway here and around the threshold, and let's go and take a look inside. It's actually a lot bigger than you expect. At the moment it's only 1 floor, but obviously we'll go 2 floors up, and this is actually the side of the room here where there's going to be a staircase that leads upstairs. And in this corner over here where we're going to walk to now, there's actually going to be a doorway there that's going to lead next door and into a bathroom and into another bedroom area. So now we're looking back at the front door and the window. This is roughly where that staircase would be. It would be coming back at this angle, and from where we're standing down here, this would be where the doorway is that goes through to that other bedroom. Now this sort of area here, this is going to be the landing and the living room. We've got the fireplace just over there, and you can see in the drawings how nice it'll look to have like the sofas and everything there. And as we look across to the left here, this is going to be the kitchen area. So there's going to be a bit of a kitchen over here, And then of course the doorway that leads outside to that barbecue area and also to the equipment room. And standing in the other corner looking across, this will be where that doorway to the other room is. Staircase goes upstairs. We've got another bedroom up there. We've got a bedroom just above us, a really large one that has the most amazing bathroom that basically has a beautiful window looking out over the views. And then there's also a doorway that goes out onto a patio space where you can see some incredible views from the front and from the side of the building. And just look at the views from the front door as you look out over this incredible valley, all of the land of the properties down here. And let's just pan across so you can see just how gorgeous these views are. So we're not quite done with the building yet. There is this little sort of lean-to space here that does actually fall within the urban footprint of the land. In fact, I've been told that the urban footprint actually comes out about another meter. And this is an area that's going to be the third bedroom or an office space. It's also going to have a bathroom, and that bathroom, the separate bathroom, is going to service the sort of main area of the house. And then again, as we said earlier, we've got the whole upstairs section with another 2 bedrooms up there, and then this beautiful patio veranda space upstairs, or balcony. And there is another building. It's actually just down here, and we're going to go there next. CL Real Estate have actually done quite a lot of work on the property. Not only have they made this sort of flat section around the house, but they've also built this retaining wall out of granite. And as we can see, it's got some really large blocks. It's absolutely beautiful. And just next to it, they've made this road, and this road takes you all the way down onto the bottom fields of the property. They've also planted numerous trees and things like that around the property. So we've got some bay trees here, we've got some olive trees that they've basically planted all around the place. So I'm quite sure in a couple of months, once all of nature sort of claws its way back, it's not going to look, as sort of raw as it does now from just all of the digger work. And all of this is going to start to look fantastic. So now we can see the roads that they've made. Nice, wide, generous roads. This actually leads down into the main sort of field of the farm. I'm going to pop up a map on the screen and just show exactly where we are right now. I'm also going to show where the secondary little urban construction is that we're going to. And this old building is registered as pre-1951. It's also on an urban plot of land. And the reason why that's important is because you can actually build a habitable house on this space. Let's go and have a look inside. Now, obviously this is a very rough and ready rural building. It can actually go up 2 floors. I'm going to walk in now and just show you from the other side of the room looking back and to the doorway from where we came in. And then across here we can actually see how the whole side of the building is a huge slab of stone. Now the footprint of this building, and if we look in the drawings here, we can see it's 19 square meters internally, but actually externally it's 38 square meters. So if you were to just renovate this stone building as is, you would have quite a small space inside. But if you were to knock it down and use the urban plot of land underneath to build something, you could have something that's 38 square meters on the floor and then another 38 square meters going up. And you could have this as a secondary accommodation. You could also have this as like a workshop or something. Imagine if you put some windows on the front and you had all of these views going down into the fields here. In fact, in these fields here, we've got a little river that runs, or a little stream. And speaking of water sources, we've got a water mine, we have a spring, we have a well. We have a well that actually overflows and makes a stream. And we're going to get to all of those in a moment. Let's first go to this first water source. So the guys from CL Real Estate, they've done a lot of work, as you can see. I mean, all of this was brambles around here and they've cut everything back. They've also pruned a lot of the trees for you. And if we go along in this direction, they've used a digger to excavate a spring that was all overgrown. So this has all been excavated out. And now you can actually see the fresh spring water as it comes out of the mountain just on the side here. This basically fills up this area, and it also overflows in the rainy season. But I've been told that in the summer this won't overflow, but you will just have a little bit of water. And if we follow this overflow, it's going to take us to the stream. And as I said before, everything's all looking kind of rough because it's only just been done with an excavator. But nature has a way of clawing its way back, and pretty soon it's all going to look good again. And actually, let's just pan across to the side here and show you this big, flat, open pasture here. And if we look back at the house, and all of the houses, actually, both of them, and then we look back to the corner of the land just over here. And on the map, we can see exactly where we're standing here. We're just going to walk down towards the stream, and look at that. So in the rainy season in winter, you're going to get a nice flow of water, a nice little trickling sound as well. and this is actually fed from somewhere else, but it's also fed from the land. And I think we should go there next. So we're here on the map right now, and this little stream that you see running apparently runs all year round, and this actually starts in the well that's on the property. It's an overflow. Because we're in this sort of valley, because we're at the bottom of the valley here, all of the water's down here, and the well water is quite high, and then it overflows and basically joins up on this side here with the stream again, which is pretty awesome. But they did say something about the fact that this main stream doesn't run all year round, so it can actually dry out in the hottest months. And then there's another couple of water sources. Check these out. In front of us on the hill here we have a water mine that's been dug out. And as I'm walking up to it, I'll just show you where we are on the map. We can see we've got a nice flat section back here that takes us to that little house. And if I just spin round, we can see completely flat here, steps down onto this lower terrace, but then also joins up with this road. And here we can see a little bit better. We were standing just over there, and this is the road that runs past the house. And up on the left here is this water mine. So it's a spring that comes out of the rocks, and he's basically just dug to expose the aquifer that goes deep into the rock there. Wow, we've had some really nice weather for the last couple of days. Obviously we're in winter now, and I think on Sunday, like only a few days ago, it was 23 degrees Celsius. So, you know, it's not bad weather. This is why I moved from the UK all the way out here. Let me just give you some views again of this now that the sun has poked through the clouds. Now also, CL Real Estate was asking me to mention that the accesses here on the property are great for big trucks and things, and that you can bring like containers and things like that for storage. He was mentioning that a lot of the overseas clients are always asking about whether or not they can bring a shipping container. So yeah, I thought I'd just add that into the video. Now, one of the bonuses of having this low piece of land here next to the river is that all year round, I've been told, it's green. There's lots and lots of water. So that well down there, the one that we're just about to go to, obviously overflows all year round. And where that stream, the overflow stream is, that then joins up with the other stream, it just means that all of that ground is nice and wet. So if you're looking for a good place to grow pasture or something like that, if you've got horses or sheep or goats, then that's the spot. So before we get to the well, I just want to go back to this section here and show you where the overflow pipe is. And I also wanted to mention that there is actually a sheep farmer that is currently using the land. It's a next door neighbor. He stays down on that side about 200 meters away. Now I've got a similar arrangement with our next door neighbor where he uses our land for his sheep, and it means that I don't have a huge headache of looking after the fields. And there's potential for you to have a similar arrangement like that. Obviously by speaking to the farmer, he's got sheep, he needs grass, you've got tons of grass. So I think something like that could potentially work. So this is the overflow. Now it's been excavated out because you can imagine over the years on an abandoned property with all of this water, it was very overgrown. But as we can see here, look, a lovely little stream running down, and we can see we've got a big, lots of frogs, and a big granite slab with the overflow from that well. You can also see a lot of these plants. Look at this, it's called junkus, and it's a plant that only grows somewhere where there's lots and lots of water. You'll always find this around a spring or a riverbed, and you can see it's going in a long straight line. The digger actually had to dig them all out because they were just embedded there in the water. And we can see evidence of that throughout here. So there's quite a lot of it growing on the field, which again is testimony to the fact that this is a field that has lots of water on it. Now obviously I can only comment on things that I've been told about a property. I don't have any sort of history with this place. I only make video tours, so you know, what I can see here is obviously this is a very wet field. It's going to grow lovely grass, as you can see, but people are going to probably wonder about flood risk. And well, just to let you know that we've had torrential rain for the last couple of weeks. Spain has flooded. We've had crazy rain, and well, see for yourself. I don't see any evidence of flooding. Right, as we arrive at the well, look at this thing. This is a real old, ancient, traditional well. Look at this. So we've got the granite slabs. Let's go across here so you can see the water a bit better. That leads us into the water over here, and we've got the overflow, which we can't see, which is down there somewhere. And then we also have this amazing old contraption, and this is something that was used to basically pull water out. There would be chains attached to this that would drop into the water with buckets, and as those buckets came up, they would empty into this little hopper over here and then into some pipes and go to different places on the farm. So as you can see on a map where we are right now, where the well is, we've got the border and boundary just on my left here, and we're going to be going all the way up in this direction. But before we get there, we've got this beautiful granite wall, or stone wall, and these are an amazing habitat for little animals and things. Obviously this has all just been cleaned and cleared. As you can see, all of the brambles and everything have been taken out. All of the hard work's been done. I mean, the whole farm has been clean and cleared. Look at that. All of the trees have been pruned and it's looking fantastic. But as I walk along this wall here, I'm just seeing perfect habitat for bumblebees and all sorts of insects and little lizards and reptiles and things like that, even toads, frogs. Beautiful. And this stretches all the way down there. And let me get to that point quickly so I can show you the connection between this terrace and that terrace. And as you can see, you can drive up here, go around and all the way up to the house. And you can also drive up this way and through and up that side of the farm. So yeah, the guys from CL Real Estate have done a fantastic job. Now, they're not a regular real estate agency. They basically buy and sell properties. So they buy the properties, you're buying the property direct from them. And they obviously do a lot of the work. They get all the paperwork together, they get a project together, ready to go, and then it basically cuts down on the amount of admin and stress that you have to deal with before building your perfect property here in Portugal. So just in front of us we have another nice little flat terrace. I was told that this would be a great place to also plant some olives, and we've got some section up here also for olives. But before we get there, before we go up this path and around, I just want to talk about this one section of land here. We've got a rectangular shape just in front, all of forest. It's like pine forest, and that doesn't belong to the property. Now the bonus is that the owner wants to sell it, and he's quite motivated because at the end of the day there's not much he can do with it. He's not growing anything that needs to be harvested or cultivated. He can't use it for pasture. It's just a bunch of trees sitting there in the middle of nowhere. So, you know, I think he's motivated to sell, and you could add that little bit of forest into your property and make it a bit bigger than what it is now. Now you don't really have to, because at the end of the day you do actually have quite a few trees. As I look in this direction, look, we've got some pine trees, some oak trees. So there actually are quite a few trees that belong to the property already. And again, CL Real Estate have done a good job of pruning all of these trees, getting rid of like dead branches. I've just walked up this hill over here, and look at the views from up here. Looking out over the valley, the sun's actually come out now just for this little bit. There is an electricity pylon that appears on the land, and we can see it just over there past this little forested bit. Now there's going to be some people that an electricity pylon is a complete no-no, and there's going to be some people that aren't really that fazed about it. Now me personally, this pylon doesn't interfere with the actual property itself. It doesn't interfere with the views. It's only when you come to this front by the road and you actually look down from the front that you get a little bit of a glimpse of some of the cables going past. And there's actually some bonuses to having this pylon on your ground, because the electricity company by law has to come and cut all of this grass. They have to keep it clean and clear. They also have to trim the trees of the forest. So you kind of get a little bit of free work done. And another bonus is, in the event of a fire, something like these pylons is something that gets protected first. This is major infrastructure, and it means that if there was a huge fire in the area, all around these pylons are going to be well looked after by the fire brigade. So we can see where we are on the map, and as I just walk past this little bit of forest, this is the bit that's for sale as an extra piece. Let's actually just pop our heads in here quickly so you can have a look at what it looks like. Oh, it's got a lovely pine smell, and we've got some huge trees in here. It's quite thick, it needs a little bit of coppicing, but yeah, nice little bit of forest. Now I'm sure CL Real Estate is going to be able to help you negotiate with the owner of this piece of land for the best price, and you can get that article added in so you can buy the main farm and also get this. But as I said earlier, it's not really that necessary, because you've already got, you know, a whole bunch of trees on the property, and you've got tons of space. So as we get to the edge here, we're going to go back on the land from this sort of dirt track, and we can actually see this electricity pylon. And now you can make up your minds whether or not you think this pylon is an issue for you with this property. or if it's something you're willing to overlook based on the property's price and its gorgeous views. So yeah, there it is. All of this land here belongs to the property, and obviously the house, let's just walk forward, we can start to see the roof of the house just in front. As you can see, these wires are behind the house, so they're actually only visible from the road. When you're looking in this direction, you only see a few wires. When you're actually standing about there and you're looking out, you don't see anything. And again, where this pylon is, you know, the electricity company is going to look after the grass and stuff there. It's less mission for you. You can also use this big open pasture section that goes down to the house. This is perfect for planting olives. It's perfect for grazing sheep. And CL Real Estate have already started planting some olives. So we've got some olives planted here. As you can see, they've done them in these troughs so that they can collect water and obviously help with the watering now that we're going into the wet season, while these are still young trees. So they don't have to look like this, but for now this is the best way of planting them. And there's a whole bunch of them going all the way along the roadside here. What we're going to come to next is water. So it's all fine and well having a well, but it's much better to have a borehole when you want to service your house with fresh water. The main reason for that being that something can fall into a well can get contaminated by groundwater, whereas a borehole is much deeper and it's far less likely to get contaminated. You can also put inline filters and UV systems on there to basically make fresh drinking water for your house. So this is the point where two different companies came and gave a quote and said this is where you'll find water. And what CL Real Estate did was they got a license already for a 150 meter deep borehole. So it sounds pretty good if two different companies are saying the exact same spot and the same depth, and you don't have to worry about the license because obviously that's already got. There are parts of Portugal where you can't get licenses anymore for boreholes. So yeah, this house is going to have access to water. We are in an area where I'm picking up 4G internet access. And my phone doesn't pick up 5G, but perhaps there's 5G here as well. We're also only 200 meters away from an electricity pylon that you can connect to actually bring electricity to the farm. Obviously these larger pylons here, the one that's on this field, is too big for you to run straight into your house, but only 200 meters away you can get mains electricity. And that's probably not really necessary either, because as I said before, we have south facing property where we have the sun going across like that, which means that if you were to run solar panels, and possibly even up on this field behind us here, you could have a huge solar array bringing electricity to the farmhouse. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. I just want to say a big thanks to CL Real Estate for hiring me to basically film this, to come here and to bring this video out for you guys. I've really enjoyed it, and if you want more information about this property, have a look in the video description below. I'm going to put the seller's contact details. I'm not the seller, I only make video tours like this for buyers or sellers. So have a look in the video description. Dinis from CL Real Estate, he's going to be able to help you with any questions you have on this, and obviously he has a load more properties, so if you like the look of this one but it's not quite right, give him a shout. He might have something else for you. Anyway, thanks for watching everyone. We'll see you in the next one. All the best. Ciao.